Fallout 76 had one of the most infamous video game releases of all time, right up there with Cyberpunk 2077 and No Man's Sky. Trust me, we'll get to those. In fact, I would wager most of you discovered Internet Historian due to his incredible video recapping 76's disastrous release. Historian, if you're watching this, I love you. I won't be delving into the game's release, but instead, we'll be taking a look at how it runs today. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about and play video games. And today, we'll be diving deeper into Fallout 76. Is it playable? Is it fun? And more importantly, does Fallout 76 suck?
In Vault 76, our future begins.
The story. Spoilers! I'm going to be talking about the full story of Fallout 76, so if you care about that, skip past this part and go to the next one, because for real, I'm going to talk about everything. One thing the Fallout series is well known for is its story. I'd even go so far as to say the excellent story and lore is what makes the Fallout series better than the Elder Scrolls series. In my opinion...
Stop right there, criminal scum!
I can't tell you how many hours I've spent watching Fallout lore videos.
Oh, that's so gross!
For those who don't know, Fallout 76 canonically takes place before any of the other games, as it's only been 25 years after the bombs fell. This is one of the most interesting aspects of the story to me, as I love the idea of exploring the early days of this horrible world.
Oh,
get that out of here!
It's
so gross! My biggest gripe is, when I finally finished the last main story quest, it felt anticlimactic. It doesn't feel like the end of the story at all.
Foundation and the Overseer will put this to good use.
Is that it? Is that the end? When it was over, I checked my Pip-Boy to see what the next quest was, and only then discovered I had finished the main story. I'm not sure if Bethesda is still working on the main story, but I have a sinking feeling that this really might be it. There's one story element that seemed to set up something bigger, but it went nowhere. For real, if you don't want spoilers, skip to the next section. When you find the scorchified Crane when you're looking for his treasure, he keeps repeating, "Boy is key." Boy is key. This really intrigued me. The Scorched seem to be like a hive mind of sorts, and they seem to be looking for a boy. Why would the Scorched want this boy? How is he important? Who is he? I was so excited to learn more, but then I reached the end of the quest line with no answers. What does boy is key mean, Mr. Z? What does it mean? We did that at the same time, nice. Then one day, while I was playing on a fresh character, I realized what boy is key means. So see this right here? Register Pip-Boy device. Because our Pip-Boy was registered, it opens this safe. So literally, when he said boy is key, he meant your Pip-Boy is the key to this safe.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
That really sucks, and it makes no sense. We've gotten no indication that the people the Scorched used to be are alive anymore, and it doesn't seem like the Scorched can say anything beyond their normal speech patterns. Why would Crane be able to still give clues to his treasure while he's Scorched? And why would Crane help us find his treasure anyway? Why lock it in a vault if you're just going to give some random person the key? It doesn't make sense. This is Editing Marcus here. Apparently, some people on the Fallout 76 Reddit page have said that the Scorched do say some things that indicate that maybe the person who they used to be is still conscious, like maybe they'll say run when they're attacking you, which indicates that they're telling you to run, or like sometimes they'll say something that indicates they don't want to be doing what they're doing. I never heard any of that, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. So apparently they might be conscious in there, but it still doesn't make sense why Crane would tell us how to get to his treasure. Even if he was Scorched, why would you tell us how to get to your treasure? It still doesn't make sense, and it really did set it up like it was some bigger plot thread that it really wasn't, so I'm still mad about it. I'm not the only one who thought Boy is Key was more important. My higher level friend in the game also thought Bethesda meant something more with that line. That was incredibly disappointing to me, considering that's the story element that had me hooked the most. Another odd thing is that Duchess seems to believe that Crane's treasure is the legendary weapon you find in the vault at Golly Mine, but the Overseer seems to think that the treasure everybody's looking for is the gold in Vault 79. Duchess could just be wrong, but Crane did have a map to Golly Mine, and he did have a key card that lets you into the vault, and everyone makes it clear that they're looking for Crane's treasure.
Lady, I will paint the walls with you if you don't tell me where Crane's treasure is right now!
Maybe you're supposed to assume that Crane had a treasure, but it wasn't the treasure? Maybe he let slip that he had a treasure and people conflated the two rumors into one? If that's the case, the game doesn't make that clear. After we got the legendary weapon in the mine, I closed the book on the whole treasure story. But then the Overseer's like, I know where the treasure is. Yeah, me too. I sold it the second I got a better weapon. It really isn't a very good reward. But no, apparently it's the gold in the vault. That does make for a better treasure, considering it really is treasure, but it definitely isn't Crane's treasure, as there's no indication Crane even knew about the gold. While the main story doesn't quite add up, the other quest lines are pretty fun, and I do enjoy the additions to the lore. I especially love the Scorched, even though I'm still convinced they're hiding something. You could claim that this misunderstanding is just my fault for assuming this line held more narrative weight than it really did. But I disagree. I think this misunderstanding is indicative of how little weight the story really holds. My brain was expecting a deeper story, so it was on the lookout for any narrative mysteries the game threw my way. So when this line popped up and the NPCs didn't know what it meant, I assumed this was our first indication of a larger story. It just proves to me how disappointing the main story really is. The side quests fare a bit better, but I mean, just a bit. There are some interesting side quests, but overall I thought these side stories were just as disappointing as the main story. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of really cool lore and a lot of very interesting things going on in this world, but it all mostly took place before the player arrived. In fact, that's true for the entire game. The lore surrounding the story and everything that built up to this game is very interesting, but the parts of the story you interact with are just not engaging. The most interesting faction quest to me is a Raiders quest line where you help this robot named Rose. Spoilers, like for real, if you don't want to be spoiled, cover your ears, get out of here. In this quest, we learn all about the guy who started the Raiders named David Thorpe. This guy was basically the Joker of the Fallout world, like he was bad news. We hear about how David worked for a cutthroat corporation, then he got trapped in the White Springs Resort with a ton of other rich people after the bombs fell, then he and the other survivors formed what's now known as the Raiders so they could survive, and it's just crazy. We also discover that he was in a relationship with a woman named Rosalind Jeffries. One day, the responders take Rosalind as a prisoner after she attacked their Charleston base, and David believes they've killed her. Furious, he orders the Charleston Dam to be destroyed using mini nukes, and he floods the entire area. Ironically, Rosalind ended up dying in the flood as she was trapped in a Charleston jail cell. When you visit Charleston in the game, you can still see the devastating results of what was later called the Christmas Flood. This story is so fascinating and feels just like the Fallout stories I love to hear. The problem? This was all way before your character shows up. In fact, pretty much all of Rose's quests involve you finding holotapes and documents that fill you in on this very story. So instead of seeing the story yourself or participating in the story, you just run around the map collecting holotapes. Marcus, you're an idiot. Fallout does this sort of thing all the time. You go in an abandoned vault and find out some crazy thing that happened that killed everyone. You're absolutely right. The difference? Most of the game feels like this in Fallout 76. Because Bethesda originally released the game with no NPCs, you heard that right, it was originally released with no NPCs, most of the game is shaped around this idea of nothing directly happening, but rather the player discovering what happened before they left the vault. All the other quests that involve NPCs and active storytelling were added later. Because of this, much of the game feels like you missed all the important bits while you were playing ping pong in Vault 76. Imagine in Fallout 4, you leave the vault as normal, but this time you're not the one who lost your baby. That was just one of your fellow vault dwellers. You leave the vault and find out they did all these crazy things and stopped the Institute from taking over the world. Wow, that sounds cool.
I wish I had been there!
There are some interesting storylines in the game, but nothing nearly as gripping as past Fallout titles. The Brotherhood of Steel questline stands out to me the most, but I don't want to spoil that one. Overall though, not impressed.
Can't I actually be involved in any of these cool stories?
You want me to read this or not?
The graphics. Being the most infamous aspect of Fallout 76, the graphics are what many of you were probably curious about the most. How do they hold up now? Are they still a dumpster fire?
Who am I?
I'm time! I'm literally time!
I love the look of Appalachia. Every area is very visually distinct and has great colors and designs. The forest is the starting area, and the trees and other foliage look very nice, especially at sunrise or sunset. The Toxic Valley looks like a sulfur pit, and the water looks like it would dissolve all the meat off your bones. The Savage Divide is mountainous and provides the best views in the game. This is my favorite spot to build a camp. The ash heap looks exactly how it sounds, and you need a gas mask to even survive there. The mire is a giant swamp with the coolest treehouse I've ever seen. The Cranberry Bog has some of the hardest hitting enemies and some of the most beautiful colors.
Juicy?
I love the look of all of these areas, except the ash heap, but I don't think I'm supposed to like the ash heap.
Since you got your degree.
While I appreciate the design of the game, it doesn't quite have the same crispness as other games from the same generation. This is likely due to the limitations of being online, but then again, Black Desert Online and Final Fantasy XIV look incredible, so who knows? I mostly like the graphics, though I do still sometimes encounter some weird graphical issues. In fact, I've seen more bugs and glitches preparing for this video than I ever did before. Come on, Bethesda. I've also had the game crash a few times, but maybe 4 or 5 times over the last few years. That's still 4 or 5 times too many, but not nearly at the unacceptable level it was at launch. I think the design of all the areas are really nice, but honestly, the game looks just as good, if not slightly worse than Fallout 4, in my opinion. However, it seems 90% of the original bugs have been patched out, so it's a much more stable game than it was at launch. Much more stable.
I'm getting better!
No, you're not. You'll be stone dead in a moment.
The gameplay. The gameplay is largely similar to the rest of the Fallout games. The biggest difference is that VATs are performed in real time since, as we keep trying to explain to moms,
You can't pause an online game, Ma! Just put my dinner in the oven!
I actually prefer the real-time targeting system over the regular slow-down time system. It gives you less time to strategize and forces you to stay on your toes a bit more. Fast travel has also been tweaked in a few ways. It now requires a certain amount of caps to fast travel to most areas, depending on how far away you are from that location. I assume this is because Bethesda thought a free fast travel would negatively affect an online multiplayer world. However, you can fast travel to certain places for free. This is mostly faction locations you're friendly with, you and your teammates' camps, and Vault 76. My favorite change to the fast travel system is that you can fast travel from inside buildings and dungeons. This means after you delve deep into some gory mutant cave for a quest, you don't have to trek all the way back to the front door to fast travel to your next location. Why didn't previous games let you do this? I have no idea, but I hope this feature will be in all future Bethesda games. This is Future Marcus here. They did put this in Starfield, but let's not talk about Starfield's fast travel. It's not a highlight. Another addition to Fallout 76 is the public team system. Teams provide the obvious benefit of linking up with other players, but they also allow you to level up faster and give you shared perk cards that are auto-equipped while you remain in that team. When I first started playing 76, I avoided teams because I assumed it was Bethesda's version of forcing players to work together. This is a bad habit many multiplayer games fall into, and I hate it.
I'm not doing it! You can't make me!
I just hate when anyone forces me to socialize with other people against my will. Surprisingly, teams are a bit deeper than that. The benefits of joining a team make it part of the meta for growing your character. This means that most teammates won't bother you if that's what you want. However, I did make some friends on my PS5 from joining a random team, so I guess socializing can be good.
You still can't make me!
The most annoying part of a team, though, is when someone leaves their mic on for no reason. 76 also utilizes a perk card system instead of perk points. This allows you to totally change your build if you have buyer's remorse, or fix any mistakes you might have made in your build. You can also swap out cards for specific situations. It's a pretty great system that doesn't lock you into a specific build or specific perks. You can even swap your special loadouts and perk cards at the punch card machine, which you can find around the world or build at your camp. Speaking of camps,
Nice.
camps. Camps are one of the most fascinating parts of Fallout 76. In Fallout 76, you can build your own base in almost any outdoor location in almost any way you want. All you have to do is find the plans and the materials. There's an entire community around sharing and cataloging different camp builds. Why are camps so popular? Well, they're basically like Lego. Watching creative people find new ways to use simple game mechanics to build incredible structures and trying to build something cool yourself is extremely fun. Finding interesting plans can be a bit difficult, but that makes it all the more satisfying when you find them and add them to your camp. If you like building fun structures, I bet you'll enjoy the camp system in Fallout 76. There's actually not much more to say. I really like the camp system, and I think it's much better than the workshop system in Fallout 4, so there you go. Oh boy, it's been a while. It's been 10 months since I started working on this video, and I have more in my script. If you look at my script, it doesn't end with the camps. There's more stuff that I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about additional content like the events and all the different things you can do that are more online gamey than they are Fallout, you know, and they added those because it's an online game and it makes sense. And I was also going to talk about what I think this game does better than other Fallout titles, what I think this game does worse than other Fallout titles. But here's the honest truth, you guys. I'm kind of sick of this game. The main reason this video took so long is just I am so bored of Fallout 76. I'm so bored of it. And if you're out there and you love Fallout 76 and you were watching this video hoping that the answer to this question would be no, it doesn't suck, I'm really sorry. It's so boring to me. And it's really sad because I had a lot of fun playing this game on my first account. The first character I ever made, the one that I got all the way through the main story, and I had a lot of fun doing that. And I've made a lot of friends. I played with people on stream and it was a lot of fun. But now when I play the game and when I played the game to get additional footage for this video, I get to a certain point in the game, and it's almost always the exact same point. That's when I kind of hit a wall, and I'm just like, man, this is boring. I'm so bored. And I think part of the reason that it was so much fun for me when I started was I was hooked into the story. I wanted to see where the story went, and now that I know the story goes nowhere, I don't think it's really, you know, keeping me around. There's no reason for me to be like, let's keep going, let's see how this plays out. And then also, and this is the biggie, and a lot of you might unsubscribe from my channel just for me saying this, but Fallout 76 was actually my first Fallout game. And I think being my first Fallout game, it helped this game a lot the first time I played it, because the Fallout-iness of the game was new to me. All of the Fallout stuff that's just like regular Fallout, it was new to me. So to me, that stuff was like really cool because I had never done it before. But now that I've played better Fallout titles like Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, that kind of stuff just doesn't carry as much weight as it did the first time I played. So I'm in this predicament where I'm making this video and I just am so sick of this game and I don't want to play it anymore, and I need more footage for the video, but I don't want to play the game to get the footage. So I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and finally I did play it again. It had been long enough that I was like, you know what, let's do this again. I need to finish this video. I played it again, got more footage, and then got to a certain point and hit that wall again, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I think my experience struggling to make this video is indicative of the game's quality, because there's a lot in this game that I love. I love the camp system. I love fast traveling from inside buildings. Like, that sounds like a small thing, but it's huge. I love that. I love it so much, and I wish more games did that. I really do like the community. I met a lot of awesome people through this game and made a lot of new friends through this game, and I think that's really cool. But this game just has no substance. The substance is the other people, but a game's substance should not be the other players. That should not be the thing, the soul of the game. If I was gonna play this game again, it would really just be to play with other people. I don't want to play it anymore by myself. I'm sick of it, and that's really disappointing because I did have so much fun when I first started. I have to say, does Fallout 76 suck? Yeah, I kind of think it does. And I hate that. The people are great, the camps are great, and that's about it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see me make a video where I do talk about what I think this game does better than other Fallout titles and what I think this game does worse than other Fallout titles, let me know, because I think I might make that its own video. I have it already scripted. I just have to record it and film it at this point. So if you want to see that, let me know. Down below is a video of mine YouTube thinks you'll like, so give that a click if you want to see more of my stuff. I'm glad to be back. Glad to have this video done. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. And until next time, have fun playing video games, guys.